Hello, everyone. It's been a very long time. Ah, I gotta catch you guys up. What has it been 13 years? I finally decided to revive this channel. It's been many years. I've been wanting to do it, but life really got in the way of things. And I want to say that I'm very happy to be back. And I have started a garden in my backyard. I just moved to New Hampshire, January of this year. So this summer I started a garden in the yard. Before that, I had been living in apartments and I attempted to do the apartment gardening when I got the chance, but it just didn't work out for me like I wanted it to. And I'm not even sure why. I think I just wasn't into uh the headspace and the energy where the food was really growing for me. And when you're gardening, one of the things you want to do is be in a positive headspace. You want to give your food that positive energy for them to grow. And I think that it's very important that when you're growing your food, that your energy is is clear of a lot of anger and other negative, feelings that you may have happening. I hope this isn't blurry for you guys. Oh gosh, it moved. All right. So I want to show you guys my backyard garden, and then I'm going to give you guys an update of what's been happening and going on with me, and basically what's brought me back to this. Now I've been eating on this garden for a little over like 2 or 3 weeks now, and I'm getting ready to start my fall garden. I'm a little late. Well, I'm a lot late, but guess what? It's going to be what it is. And so this season, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to grow outside and I'm going to also grow inside. I have a nice little nook in my basement that has four huge windows, and I'm going to attempt to grow out of season food in the basement of my home, and I'm going to grow winter foods out here. I have a couple tarps I have to build and another square foot um, garden that I have to hit my husband or my son to put together for me. Um, and I had a bunch of dirt. I'm going to fill in a hole and some other stuff, but I'm going to take you guys around and let you see my little garden. It's not really that big, it's very small. And because I have a lot of rabbits, chipmunks, and other kinds of birds and wild animals, I did not plant in my grass, especially because parts of my grass looks like it's infested with weevils or something like that. So it's real soft and bumpy. And if I plant in that, they're not going to do anything but eat up the roots of anything that I plant in there. So I decided to do, um, um, I decided to use a couple of my stand up garden planters and some bags. And I purchased, like I told you, some square foot garden, some metal ones. I purchased some metal ones, and I need to build a tarp for those so that when it gets cooler here, in Zone 5A, I'll be able to grow during the winter time as well. So let me take you guys around. I'm gonna give you a little bit of looks. So let me turn the camera around if I can. Uh, well, I guess I can't. So let's just turn it this way and I'll let you see. So this right here is my little area. Ooh, I hope you guys can see that. This is my little area right here where I am growing some seeds and some ginger, little tomatoes. I got another tomato plant right here I just planted, and I need to plant this one over here. And this is some kales, some little kales that I planted, and I had them sitting in a thing, but it rained the other day, and they got soaked, so the pods are soaking wet, and I just picked those up and put them in there, and I'm going to replant those today. This right here is where I'm going to plant some seeds um, for the fall garden. And this right here, I had a bunch of lettuce growing right here, and I ate some of it, but most of it was eaten up by a moth worm, one of those little green moth worms. And I have two green peppers right here. I'm going to pick those soon. I want them to turn red or yellow, really, but they're taking forever. I mean, like forever. And so we'll see how that goes. And over here is my dying cucumber plant. I've picked like 4 or 5 cucumbers off of here. I got several still growing, but as you can see, the bottom leaves are dying off, and I'm gonna cut the rest of those off so that the energy won't keep going to those dying leaves. And I put these little sticks in there for them to train and grow up. This is my second one, and as you can see, I have like 2 or 3 growing on this as well. And right here is my tomato plant. I got 4 tomatoes off of this already. It's a big boy plant, tomato plant. And I have another little tomato plant right there, see, but something's eating it, so I don't think that's gonna grow. And these are just some herbs that I'm going to in this small uh stand up planter right here. And over here is my dirt and square foot that I um plan up this weekend and start growing some fall crops in here. And this right here is an area where I love stuff like that. And I've been keeping, the older people that were living in the house before, she liked bird bird houses, and she left a lot of the bird houses here. And I've been thinking about just rethinking them and putting them back up because I don't mind bird houses at all. And so this is another square foot I need to put together. It's messy back here, so thank you guys um, for checking out my video. So as you can see, I'm growing these plants right here in these are 5 gallon mesh bags, and I have like 2 more I want to fill up. I hope you guys could see all of that. And so now I'm gonna tell you basically what's been going on with me for like maybe the last well, I guess about 13 years or so. I moved from Maryland. I moved up north to Massachusetts, and I basically started a career in healthcare. And that was where I was when I left Baltimore. But when I left Baltimore, my real desire was to get another house and with more land and to start kind of homesteading and growing my own food and just crafting and things like that. But Instead, I kind of went into a different direction and followed my husband. He was more about, growing his career and being a professional. He's in the biotech industry, and things had kind of got shaken up in Maryland, and a lot of stuff closed down. So he ended up coming up to the New England area. Excuse me. And because Baltimore was getting kind of rough for our children, I kind of decided to follow him. And Massachusetts is a very big place when it comes to healthcare. God, it has so many hospitals. It's like in biotech and just innovation and things like that. The opportunities in Massachusetts are just really great, really, really great. And I kind of fell into just growing my career. And it wasn't easy. It really, really wasn't easy, especially in the healthcare industry. It's very, it gets very dog eat dog, especially when you get into upper management where I was. And I wanted to get into being a director or an admin. But like I said, the competition was just very, very, very steep. It was a lot of drama, very toxic, very, very, very toxic. And needless to say, after so many years, it just it took its toll on me. And I didn't realize how much I had lost myself in um, growing my career and choosing to go that route instead of the route that I really wanted to go in my life. I got sick. I wasn't really taking care of myself. I was very stressed and I was self medicating. I stopped eating healthy. I started eating all kinds of junk, started drinking um, more than I normally did before I had come up this way. And let me say the long story short, I got laid off in 2019. By that time, I was so tired. I was tired to my soul, like to my core. I could barely even get myself out of the bed some days to even get to work. And I really needed a break. I needed a break. I needed a way out, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. I had been uh, being coached to start a business, which I had really had been doing for like 3 years before I got laid off because that business was going to be my exit um, out of healthcare. And I realized that what I had chosen to get into was not really something that I really wanted to do. I started to, I thought I really wanted to do marriage counseling. It was something that I really, um, I did a lot of videos on YouTube years ago. And I thought that, maybe I would want to get back into that. But I realized after maybe about 2, 3 years of investing in learning how to be a marriage coach that was not what was in my heart. So when I got laid off, it was Thanksgiving 2019, and then COVID hit. And I was decompressing, and I didn't realize how hard I was decompressing. I basically fell into a really deep fatigue depression where I literally just, for like maybe 6 months, I just sat and played video games, my little farming games and things like that I like to play. And I'd looked for a job, I interviewed for jobs, and I had so many, like, I kept getting beat out for jobs. It was like 4 or 5 jobs. It was like almost a guarantee that I was going to get the job, and at the last minute, they decided to hire somebody else. And for the first time in my life, I was not having fun looking for a job. I was not really giving what I would normally give when I was looking for a job. I'm not a very competitive person, or at least I don't think I am. My husband says different. And I just didn't, I got tired of interviewing. I just felt like these people weren't going to give me what I needed. And why am I interviewing with them right now? For what? For what? What are they going to give me that's going to make my life better? And I started working some contracting gigs, which I really liked. I really liked working those gigs because I got to work with different people. I got to know different people. I learned so much, so many other things. At the same time, my mom was sick. She had had 3 heart attacks back to back, and I was trying my best to help take care of her. But I knew something wasn't right, and I had told myself that I was just going to decompress and I wasn't going to worry about anything after I got laid off. Well, things kind of just, I don't know what happened. It spiraled out of control. And next thing I knew, I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk. I was losing my hearing. My vision was messed up. I was extremely fatigued. I have had pain in my elbow and in my lower bottom part in my left hip, in my left leg. And like every couple weeks, something was wrong. And I was going to the doctors, but it would be like 6 weeks to 2 months in between my doctor's appointments. So lo and behold, um, by the time I went to see a neurologist, um, I was in a wheelchair and they sent me to the hospital emergently because they said my bodily functions were shutting down. And we couldn't figure out, I couldn't understand, what could be shutting down my body functions. And the neurologist said she thought I had sarcoidosis. And I didn't know what sarcoidosis was. And when I went to the hospital, they didn't know what sarcoidosis was. And it was one of those hospitals where, they bring the whole group of doctors to see you and learn off of you. I can't remember if that's a teaching hospital or a learning hospital right now. But I would not go to one of those hospitals again. Um I didn't like the it wasn't so much of it actually wasn't even just a hospital or the students coming in to see what maybe to learn off of me. I was pretty open to that. It was the doctor that was in charge that I didn't like. He was too egotistical and he was too non-caring, and he did not make me feel like um he was very interested in what was wrong with me or taking care of me. And overall he made my stay at the hospital really bad. Him and one aide who was she wasn't even hired. It was ridiculous. I'm not even going to give that story any energy. But needless to say, I had to stay in a hospital um until they had to do pathology tests. They went into my chest and took biopsies of my lymph nodes in my chest to see if it was inflamed and things like that. So they had to go down my throat, and it was an experience. While I was there waiting to get my diagnosis and my treatment, my bodily functions got worse, and I could no longer write. I couldn't control my handwriting anymore. My vision was getting worse, and I started having these episodes. I call them episodes because it felt like it was a seizure, but I don't really know what a seizure is, besides seeing somebody go through a seizure. Um, and mine's was it just was really weird. It was like my entire left side of my body would pull into me, and my face would kind of get pulled to my left side, like, and my arm would get pulled in like this, and I would just seize for like 30 seconds. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And by the time I made it to the rehab, it was coming like maybe every couple hours at the time. But after a week of being in rehab, it was hitting me like every 5 minutes. And everybody was on vacation. It was summertime, people were on vacation. It was a weekend, and we just couldn't get in touch with anybody. And I had to suffer through that for like a week before they finally just changed my medication. If you know anything about being in a rehab, once you're in a rehab, they don't change your medication. Your doctor that was following you at whatever hospital has to change the medication. But the good thing was I was already on this medication, and they just changed it up. They didn't have to give me a new medication, and just changing up that medication for me helped to break the episodes that I was having. And I was finally able to get a break because I was very tired. I was The only time that I didn't get those episodes was if I was asleep. But as soon as I woke up, I would get one. And it was an experience. I had to learn how to walk all over again. So after I left rehab, I had to get rehab at home for 6 months. And I'm on infusions. I have to get infusions every 6 weeks of medication so that my sarcoidosis does not come back. Now, I had a very rare kind of sarcoidosis. It actually got into my spine, and because I didn't know that I had it, it went into my brain. So my mentality was not right, and it's one of the reasons why it took me so long to realize what was wrong with me and really go get it taken care of, is because mentally I was not thinking good, thinking correctly. It was a very stressful time. My husband was going through a lot of stuff. He's trying to figure out what's wrong with me. And it was an experience. And I finally got out of the hospital, and my home was now, I had wheelchairs, uh I had walkers, I had bathtub chairs, I had a toilet chair. It was like it had turned into a home for a disabled person. And in my mind, I still didn't see myself like that. So it was kind of hard just um, dealing with what my life had turned into in such a short period of time. And I got care in time enough that my functions could have any it could have chose to shut down any particular function. And luckily I was able to um catch it before it shut down a major bodily function, and I just didn't survive it, because you can die from sarcoidosis, and you can die from the complications of sarcoidosis, which are other can be other illnesses that come into play. Um, like some people can get cancers from while they haven't having issues with a sarcoidosis flare up, or they can get hypertension and blood sugar issues that can can cause them to have issues. So for me, I have been taking my medication and trying to push myself to be more healthy and just get back to what I like to do. While I was sick, I started my own business because I decided that working in toxic environments and in healthcare within hospitals and physician organizations was just it was it had just taken its toll on me, and I decided that I didn't want to go work for anybody anymore. I would work contract work, and I would consult myself out, and I would start my own medical billing business. That business is 3 years old now, and I have five providers. Actually, no, I'm back down to four because I just lost one who didn't renew their contract because they decided to take um, their business in another direction, which was more remote for them. So they didn't need a medical biller or revenue cycle manager. So what I do is I took my 32 years of knowledge in the healthcare industry and I work for myself. And I can honestly say that I have never been more happy and more grateful in my life to be able to have this opportunity. It is allowing me to stay at home and work and grow my food and do my crafts and just basically live my life the way I want to live it and not have to cater to a business or a job that really doesn't care about me, you know? And sorry, my son is calling me. And so we had been trying to buy a home and get out of renting because living in Massachusetts is very expensive, especially renting. And with me getting sick, uh, we had to put all of that on the back burner. But like I said, I've been very blessed, and my youngest son purchased a home for the family so that we could all live in. And now we are all living in a home, and I now have a backyard where I can grow my food and I can just sit out and listen to the crickets. You hear the cricket? And I can listen to the leaves blowing. And I have an office. They built me an office in my bedroom. So every day, all I have to do is get out my bed, get myself together and go in my office and work. And I have two windows where I can see the trees every day. So I can see nature. It's one of the things that I really want to get back to. And we don't live far from a lake, so we go to the lake often. And we don't live very far from the beach. One of my favorite places is the beach, but I really just like being around water in general. It could be a little pond area, but I live not too far from one of the major beaches up here. I think it's Hampton Beach, and it's just beautiful. I'm gonna tell you right now, Massachusetts and New Hampshire, the New England area is just beautiful. All of the water and the trees, especially when fall comes, the leaves are starting to die off now. I'm seeing some brown leaves here and there. But when it really hits fall, I'm looking forward to riding around and taking in some of the natural sights here and doing a little more hiking. I'm still working on my walking right now. My walking is not 100%. And one of the reasons why is because I don't walk as much as I should, because during that whole time that I was sick, I started my business. I started it while I was sick, and I grew that business while I was sick. And so it took some of my time, but I needed to build that business to be where I am now. And now I'm at a point where I can really focus on adding other things into my life, like making sure that I'm taking care of me, and that I'm happy, and that my family is happy, and that my family is taken care of. You know, a lot of people um, don't don't live as a group in a home after their children grow up, but we do. My oldest son is 28. My youngest son is about to turn 26. And we all live together. We enjoy each other. We love each other. And we really get along well. And if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would have survived everything that I went through over the last when I got diagnosed 7/7 of 21. It's 23 now. It's been a little over 2 years. Yeah, it's been a little over 2 years. And I have to get treatments for, I think, another year to make sure that my sarcoidosis is in remission, but it's doing good right now. I don't have any signs of sarcoidosis, but what I do have now is I have lesions on my spine. So now I have arthritis in my back and arthritis in both knees. And they flare up at times. So sometimes I'm having a hard time walking because my knee flares up, mainly my right knee. And but I've been making a point to try and be more active and, doing things around the house. Even if I don't get out the house, I still do things around the house, and then I come out and I check my garden, and I work in my garden, and that keeps me active, more active, and I'm looking forward to adding other exercises to um, my regimen, and also going to the Y with my husband and my son, and maybe adding some swimming and bike riding, low impact things. But so that's what's been going on with me. I didn't expect that to be so long, but I did want to give you an update as to what's been going on in my world. So back to gardening. I sat down last night and I planned out my fall garden, and I wanted to share with you guys what I decided to grow in the garden this fall, before I start planting them. I'll probably do a video of everything after I plant them, because I don't have a table out here, so I really don't have somewhere to sit um, my bucket or my planter while I do my seeds. Excuse me. So one of the things I'm going to grow is the organic, excuse me, Lacine, Lacinato kale. I'm going to grow more lettuce, but I'm going to do it in the house. And this is the lettuce that I grew earlier that got eaten up by the bug. Then I am growing some Kentucky Wonder Pole beans. I'm growing some Kentucky Wonder Pole beans, some more lettuce, some bunching onions. And these are onions that I'm going to grow these in the house more than likely because they're not they're not part of the winter growing plants that normally you would grow during the fall and winter. I'm growing some carrots. I'm growing a couple different types of carrots. That's one. Two. Some little fingers. I thought I have these little fingers, but I thought I had the little ball ones, and I can't find them if I have them. I may order some more off of Amazon or go to Home Depot and see if they have any on sale right now. Usually their seeds are kind of cheap around this time of year. Some turnips for salads and stuff like that. Zucchini, arugula. My arugula got eaten up also by that little worm. I have another packet of kale, golden cabbage, red cabbage, chives. I'm going to grow these inside. Colorful beets, broccoli, radishes, some more beets, some spinach, and I'm going to plant some sunflower seeds. Yeah, some sunflowers, not sunflower seeds, sunflowers. Well, my girlfriend actually um sent me some of these. These are wait a minute, I can't see these seeds right here. I'm gonna plant these and see if I can get some of them to grow before the frost. Now, I really kind of only have 40 days, 46 days before our first frost, but I have some tarps to go over the food to help keep in a lot of the heat. Uh, and I'm gonna see how it goes. That's why this is a journey. I'm gonna learn how to do gardening in an area where it's really cold. Like the cold up here is nothing like Maryland. Maryland is extremely mild when it comes to weather in the winter time. Up here, um, I believe last year, one weekend we got like 14. It was like, I think it was feet. It was very high. It was very high. Like I have never seen snow like this in my life. And it snowed a lot too. We had several storms. It's beautiful, watching it fall and on the trees, but cleaning it up, woof, I tell you. And then it gets really cold. Like we had a cold snap that was, I think it went as low as 3 below. And that was during that time where the the young lady up in New York froze in her car, and it was that cold up this way. So I'll see how it goes, and I will keep you guys posted. Thank you so very much for showing up and listening to me go into my little rant. And I really am happy to be back. And I look forward to making more videos for you guys. Have a good day. Bye bye.